Hi and welcome into Rebecca K Crochet. Today what we're going to do is I am going to show you how I wind up my yarn balls. I start with a slip knot, and this is a yarn winder. This is an old yarn winder. It's probably 30 years old or more. I got it used, and what I do is I take the slip knot, I attach it right here on the top, then you just pull it through here and you weave it in through here like so. And I'm using scrap yarn, and I like to go about 20 rotations. 7. This I just have a little bitty skein of yarn, so I'll probably use all of that on my hook or on my yarn winder. And then whenever I get to the end, what I do is I grab another yarn, and that's a dark gray, so I'll grab this horribly bright orange right here. And this is how I like to tie my knots. I've showed it in previous video, but what I do is I wrap the yarn around and just tie like you're tying your shoe, and then I take the other one and wrap it around this one like I'm tying my shoe. And for some reason my cat and 2 of my dogs have come into the bedroom when they heard me start talking, so you may see them in the video. I don't know. And you may hear them breathing or purring. I don't know. Then you pull it tight, you pull it snug. Then you grab your scissors and you cut these strings as close as you can. And I'm trying to do this on video, so through the camera, so it may not work very good, but as close as you can to the knot. Pull your knot one more time, and that's good to go. And so then we will just go until we think it's good. And I'll cut this one, and I'll get my next yarn. And I like to alternate light, dark, light, dark. And that one is kind of a medium, so I'm going to go back with a dark. And this is a navy blue. Most of this yarn right now that I'm working with is either Red Heart Super Saver or Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. It could be a little bit of Big Twist that I have left. I don't have a whole lot of Big Twist because the nearest Joann's to me was almost an hour away, so I didn't get to Joann's very often. Cut these off as close as you can. That's not very close. Then we snug it down again. That's not going to go anywhere, so then we start over again. Now I will tell you that this yarn winder does not, it's old enough that it does not wind yarn like the newer ones. My yarn will come in on the top. It doesn't do it like the new ones. I'm just going to do this gray right here. Like the new ones make these really pretty cakes. Mine won't be pretty until I get out to the corners. But this is how you do it, and I just keep tying on, and I will go back and make the cake, and I'll finish out a cake, and I may fast forward it so you guys can see me finishing a cake. And this is how I make all of my cake yarns, or cake up my yarns for all of my scrap projects that I do. Pull it snug, and then we start winding again. And I have it over here to the side for the tension. And I have said in a previous video that I have wore out 2 or 3 of these, and I found this one used, so I bought it. But yeah, I tend to wear them out quite frequently. We're going to use a variegated yarn now, if I can find the end. I have so much scrap yarn that I have, you know, I cake up so much yarn because I crochet so much. I gotta find the end here. Had a knot in it. Had a slip hook or slip knot. And so I have worn out 2 electric ones, and I think 3 hand wind ones so far. This brother has lasted. This is a brother. It's an old brother. And it's lasted the longest. This also makes one of the biggest cakes I've seen. It can hold almost a pound of yarn. It's not too far from a pound. I know that it will, hang on a second and I'll show you. It will cake this yarn winder, which I don't know if you can get it anymore. I'll be right back. It will hold one of these Super Saver ombres. It will cake up the entire thing, and it is, where does it tell me? It's a 4-weight, 482 yards, 10 ounces. So this will hold this whole skein of ombre. Now, I don't know if, like the Stanwoods, I don't know if they will hold that much yarn. I don't know if they'll hold 10 ounces. I think they will probably make a smaller skein, but I can't guarantee. But I think that that's something, or they also have one that looks like the Stanwood on Temu. I may try it. I think last time I looked, it was in the like $20 range versus like $60 to $80. So when this one wears out, or if it looks like it's getting close to wearing out, I will probably have to get that one, because I do not need to be without a yarn winder. And there is a way to wind this yarn that looks just like this by hand, but I prefer not to do that. It takes too long. And I'll probably speed up the process through here and not say anything else, so you guys can just watch me wind a little bit of yarn, see how the process goes, and see what it looks like. And I'll be back whenever I get finished. Sometimes you get these yarn peels like this, and you have to cut them off. It's just slubs of yarn. See, that one pulled apart, so I didn't have it snug down tight enough before I cut it. That's why you always want to pull them, because if it pulls apart, you do it before you before you make your item. And that's how close you want it. And then you pull on it and it doesn't come apart. And I'm pulling hard. I'm not just kind of halfway pulling. I pull hard. And you can go and you can pull that over to the side if you have a mind to. The one thing you don't want to let this thing do is you do not want to let it turn this right here. You don't want to let it turn backwards without having tension, because if it goes backwards without that tension, it'll wrap around your bottom and get in your gears. And that is not fun to get out of those gears. Okay, if you heard that, my husband just hollered at me and he said that my Mother's Day has arrived. And I didn't know I was getting a Mother's Day from him. So that's a surprise. And he ordered it on Amazon, and there's no telling, but I will show you what I got for Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day, so I'd like to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day, or a belated, because you're not going to see this until Monday. And I'll show you some of the cakes I'm working on, and another thing that I've got going on, but I mean the projects I've got working on with the cake. Oh no. So you can do this. I did the wrong side, so I've got a ball. Hold on. I got weird things going on. I guess I could show my cat down here. He's purring again. He is supposed to be an outside cat, but he's decided that he wants to be an inside cat. We have a white cat that is deaf that is an inside cat because she is deaf, and he has decided that he needs to be in the house also. And this is what happens whenever you wind from the outside and the inside. You get tangles like this. His name is Beast. He thinks he's a little beast. And my inside cat's name is Cog. And the reason that her name is Cog is because she thinks that she is a dog, therefore she is a cat dog. And she's deaf, so she can't hear anything. So if you hear on video a really loud meow, it's usually her. She's like really loud. I'm sorry for the wiggling. There we go. It went down on the floor, so now I can. I've got a big mess going on here. But this is what happens. You get tangles, you get messes, you get all kinds of stuff. And part of this is because I started from the outside and I didn't restart. I was like, yeah, I'll just go with it. I don't mind yarn knots and all of this. To me, they're kind of relaxing. So I just kind of go with it and get them out the best that I can. I have sat for hours taking yarn knots out, so it is what it is. And I should show you what Beast is doing over there. He's being a little bit of a nut. Okay, let's see. We're not to the end yet, so that was dark purple. You may be getting ready to see him. He's decided he needs to see what Mom is up to. He may get on my table. He's a crazy cat. Now my Cog is my white cat. She will not do what he does. Cog is solid white, which white cats are either blind. Some of them are blind, and here he comes. Some of them are blind and some of them are deaf, and she's deaf. But not Beast. Beast is a pain, aren't you? Aren't you? Yeah, Beast is a pain. He's got to be seeing what Mom's doing. I don't think I can wind this with him sitting there. Move, Beast. He's gonna jump down. He's right on the edge. Yep. He got hit. He's like, nope, I'm not staying. But he is one of those cats that he was wild, and he chose us to be his people. And that's all she wrote. He's just decided that he is going to be a people cat, which is fine. But he's usually outside. He's usually not in the house. He will come in to eat the dog food, then he will go back outside with his friends. And he's got plenty of acres to roam around. I'm looking through the camera here trying to cut this knot. Okay. I think this is going to be my last one, so I'm going to, yeah. There we go. See, I got it tangled up underneath because it started flipping off the bottom. And we have a knot right here. That happens sometimes when you get a knot wrapped around. And then you just have to unwind it. Everything about crochet is a lot of patience. And if you don't have the patience, you will develop the patience. It's a good learning skill to have a lot of patience when you crochet. And relaxation. Especially when you're first starting. When you're first starting, it sometimes can get a little bit difficult. Okay, so now I need to go here. I need to pull this back. And I'll show you. See how that's getting really close? That right here, this arm right here is getting really close to my skein. When it touches, you're done. Otherwise, it'll start flipping your yarn off. See right there, it touched. This one has 2 arms on it. A lot of them nowadays only have 1. And right there it's rubbing, so I can't go any further. I'll show you. I'll just pull it up. See how it's rubbing? See that rub? I can't go any further. So then what you do is you cut it, you take it off. I like to pull mine off like that. I have this little spot right here, which does not bother me. I am not a perfectionist. At least it's wound up decent. And I will either stick a barrette on here, on this end, or I will pull it really tight and I will stick it up inside of there if I don't have a barrette. And I'll put it up inside of there. And then I will turn you around and I'll show you what I do with them. This is what I do with them. I hang them on this pegboard back behind my chair, and that way I have working yarn, like that one will go up there, and I have working, this is the scrap yarn that I work with. And I have pulled yarn from here and down here, and I will show you that in just a second. Okay, so this is what I'm working on. And if you watch the Tunisian entrelac, we started with this stitch, then we did these 2, then I did the white, and then I said to repeat and to go on up. And this is what I have. And I have a beast down here trying to get me. And this is what I have done. These are the cakes that I am using. I'm using this cake, which is like a solid and then a variegated. This cake, which is a solid and a variegated. This cake, which is all, I think these are all solids, if I'm not, maybe 1 variegated in here. And then I have this cake, which is, I think it's mainly just bright colors. I don't think there's very many. There might be, that might be a variegated right there. I might have 1 variegated yarn through here. I know this yarn may have all these yarns match that yarn, I think, is what I did. I don't know. They're all different, and I thought, well, I'll just put them together. But you can see that this is the back, this is the front. And you can see I had 2 variegateds that came, and what I do is I go with, I did a solid, and then I did a regular orange skein that I caked up, and then this white came from the middle of this cake. And then I did that green, which was in the middle of, I'm thinking it was this cake. Let me look, it might have been this one. Nope, it was in the middle of this cake. The green's in the middle of that one. Then I did this color, which is in the middle of this cake. That's what this one is. Then this one is in the middle of this one. You can see those 2 right there. And it turns into brown and then back into the turquoise color variegated. So it's all different across. Then the orange cake again. Then the white, which came out of this one. And then I'll just go back through and rotate out my cakes, and whatever color comes up next is the color that comes up next. So right now I'm working with 4 different scrap yarn cakes, all different colors, just alternating them all through this project. And that's what I said whenever I told you that you can use this Tunisian entrelac stitch to finish off your crochet blankets. That's how I do it. I just take 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, however many colors I want to rotate through before I go back to the same color, because these rows are not long enough yet to go through an entire colorway how I roll them. So I just take that many. It will take between 6 and 10, depending on how big I make this blanket, to do those. So I will be back and show you what my husband got me for Mother's Day. Okay, let's see what I got. He ordered it from Amazon. Oh, it's a diamond painting. And it is a dragonfly. That's going to be pretty. I don't know how much diamond painting is on this. It doesn't look like a whole lot. Let's open it up. If I can get into it. Oh, there it is. I don't think this is going to have a whole lot of... Doesn't look like it's got a lot of beads on it. He's trying to keep my dogs quiet, but they're wanting to bark. This is a different canvas than I felt too. Oh, it's pulling the sticky off. That's why I'm having trouble. Okay, so it comes with... Let me put this sticky back down. Oh, that's why I was having trouble pulling it out. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I love dragonflies. And then it comes with your tools. Ooh, it's got pretty stones. Pretty shiny stones. It's even got these bigger stones here and great big ones here. More sparkle in these. I mean, they look like rhinestones. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, that's what he got me for Mother's Day, so wasn't that sweet? I didn't even know that was coming. That's funny. I had a whole bunch of them in my cart, so he must have picked one out in my Amazon cart. Well, and he liked us. I told him if he was going to get something in my cart. I said, you can't fail if I've already put it in the cart, right? So, there's that. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. That's all I have for you today. Now, my son is going to be here this week, and you may see him on camera a little bit. I don't know. We're getting ready to really do some spring cleaning, and he said he'd come up and help me with the heavy lifting stuff. So hopefully that works. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Like and subscribe, and if you can, share it with a friend or something, and turn on that bell notification so you get the next one. Have a great day.